This video is continuation in the series of life cycle nutrition. Earlier I talked about first trimester of pregnancy and the changes and the diet about that. Hi everyone, welcome to Nutrifulyou. I am Dr. Lahari. I am a nutritionist and a wellness consultant. And in this video, I would like to talk about second trimester of pregnancy. What are the changes that happen in the body? What are the different kinds of developments, and what kind of diet to take, what kind of foods to avoid, etc. and etc. So now, second trimester of pregnancy is between week 14 and week 27. During this period, usually most people consider second trimester of pregnancy to be the most comfortable time during the pregnancy, because the raging hormones that you're getting used to, that phase is over during the first trimester, at least for most people. However, during second trimester of pregnancy, some people still might have continued food preferences in terms of sensitivities to certain food, like not being able to tolerate certain food, increased sensitivity to certain smells that might induce vomiting, and increased morning sickness and stuff like that. But most people are usually over that by end of 14th week, or at the most by end of 16th week. So this is the period of time during pregnancy you would actually start seeing rapid growth, whether it is in terms of fetal growth or the growth of your own body, like the increase in weight. In terms of weight, you can expect to gain anywhere between half kg to 1 kg of weight per week during the second trimester of pregnancy. And this is not mandatory for everybody. However, it entirely depends on how your lifestyle is and what your starting weight during pregnancy is. Like, what is your weight when you conceived, and if you had gained any weight during the first trimester of pregnancy. So you can keep this in mind when you are weighing yourself or keeping track of changes in the weight as well. Next thing is, the reason for weight gain during second trimester of pregnancy is not only the rapid growth of fetus inside you, but also growth of all the supporting tissue in the body. The first one being increased blood volume to support the rapidly growing fetus. So when the blood volume increases, obviously the weight is going to increase. And with the increased blood volume comes into picture increased requirement for iron. So even during first trimester of pregnancy, we had increased iron requirement, which continues to be during the second trimester as well. Along with that, this is when the calcium requirement also increases rapidly. So make sure you're getting all your calcium sources right, milk and different kinds of dairy products. However, make sure you're not eating a lot of those salty cheeses or unpasteurized cheeses. This could also increase your chance of infection. So, be a little cautious about that. Apart from that, you can have pasteurized milk and freshly made curds, and also different kinds of yogurts, Greek yogurt and all these things, including paneer as well. Then, you can also expect to see some changes in the breast tissue, increase in the vasculature, as well as probably increased weight, and everything also can be expected during the second trimester of pregnancy. Apart from this, you'll also start noticing changes in general in accumulation of fat in the body. This is necessary for a woman to be able to support lactation later on. So don't worry about gaining a little bit of fat or seeing new folds on your body during the second trimester of pregnancy, because this is necessary for a proper development of the fetus as well as development of the baby later on during lactation period. Next thing is, this is the time you will also see that your hair is growing beautiful and thick because of all those nice beautiful growth hormone levels in the body. It helps make your skin shiny and make your hair shiny and growing well and all these. So enjoy this phase. This is probably the time most people would actually see a baby bump. So enjoy this phase and take care of yourself in terms of being slightly physically active. This is not the time to just get some bed rest or reduce the activity levels beyond a point, because when you stay active you will make it easier for yourself during delivery also. However, a word of caution here, make sure you get your doctor's advice about how much active you can be. This entirely depends on how active you are usually, and if you had any habit of being active pre-pregnancy or during the first trimester and all these things. And also prepare yourself to get into carrying more weight. This is also very important, because this is the time you will start noticing the rapid changes, and because of which you will also see a change in the skin texture and probably start seeing stretch marks also. So being prepared for all this is going to put you a little bit at ease. When it comes to nutrition, the nutrient that is especially important during this phase is the amount of protein that you take. It depends on your current weight. So for every kilogram of your body weight during the second trimester of pregnancy, you will need anywhere between 1 to 1.5 grams of protein. So this protein comes from different sources. If you are a non-vegetarian, you can choose to eat lean meats like chicken or even a little bit of mutton depending on the cut, but control the amount of fish that you are eating, because you don't want to have exposure to too much of heavy metals like mercury that are quite possible to be there in the seafood. So be a little cautious with the food, but other sources of non-vegetarian are okay to eat. The next is in case of vegetarians, you can start including more and more beans and lentils in your diet, and also tofu. Some people are a little apprehensive about using soy products during this time, but there is plenty of research that shows that there is no need to be worried about usage of soy products as long as they don't have this excess sodium. Only product that will have excess sodium when it comes to soy is soy sauce. So and we don't even consider that a source of protein. So apart from soy sauce, you can eat meal maker or soya nuggets as they are called in some places. You can have tofu, you can have soy milk, you can have soya beans also cooked in the form of curry or made into a snack or in different forms. And you can also eat different kinds of nuts and seeds during this time. Make sure you are eating frequently and small meals rather than loading yourself up with a lot of food. The reason being, your uterus is growing in size, which could also reduce space for other organs in the vicinity of that, which is your stomach or something where your food is actually being digested, and also your bladder. So this is the period of time when people will also start noticing more of heartburn or regurgitation of food, and also wanting to use the washroom more frequently. You have that urge to pee more often. So pay attention to these, and to avoid this kind of acid reflux and heartburn symptoms, small frequent meals, and also reduce the amount of spice and salt in your food so that you don't contribute more to this symptoms of heartburn or having to pee excessively or more frequently. Then regulate the amount of additives that you have in your food. This mostly comes from extremely processed food and foods from outside. This is a period of time most pregnant women are prone to food infections. So avoid as much as you can eating outside food, whether it is food from your favorite restaurants or food that is already pre-packaged like breads, biscuits, chocolates and all those things. Because irrespective of source of infection, this infection during this point of time can be a bad news sometimes. So make sure you avoid those things. Apart from the processed food, it is also advisable to avoid these salads especially that are made outside, because the chance of contamination are high with raw foods. So avoid most of the raw foods. In case of fruits, where the fruit is prepared at home, as in washed well and then cut after washing your hands well and using a separate cutting board that is not used for other kind of non-vegetarian foods and all that. That kind of care need to be taken when fresh salads are prepared at home or fresh fruits are cut using your own cutting board and knife at home. So as long as you take care of these things, you are safe to use salads at home, but definitely do not eat outside salads at all. Avoid deep fried foods because these can also increase the chance of heartburn. Constipation comes along from your first trimester as well. So keep up with your intake of dark leafy vegetables as well as different kinds of vegetables that have high fiber content. So for example, if you are eating certain vegetables like ridge gourd or bottle gourd like loki, these things can also be eaten along with the peel. So try including the peel as well so that you get more fiber, and start using more of whole grains and include different kinds of this is also the time some women might tend to get gestational diabetes. So try to include more of whole grains. Whole grains definitely help in controlling blood glucose better and help you avoid gestational diabetes if you are prone to it. So what kind of whole grains can you use? You can use whole grain breads, you can use brown rice or single polished rice, you can use whole wheat based atta to make rotis, you can use barley, you can use different kinds of millets. So no grain is forbidden during this time really. So try to use as much of whole grains as possible. Apart from fiber and being able to control your blood glucose, these whole grains also help in giving you all the necessary vitamins and minerals whose requirement is a little higher during pregnancy. Then people talk about not eating papaya during pregnancy. It's kind of although it is said so in Indian subcontinent, most of the countries, women in most of the countries, especially Western countries, there is no distinction in the kind of fruit that you can eat or avoid during pregnancy. You can safely eat papaya also, but make sure it is fully ripened and you consume it in small portions. Excessive consumption of fruits is never good. Excessive consumption of anything is never good. But during second trimester of pregnancy, make sure if you are such a big fan of papaya and you must have it, make sure you only have it about 50 to 100 grams and not more than that, and it is fully ripened. All the other fruits you can have in reasonable quantities, not more than say 150 to 200 grams depending on how high of sugar containing or glucose containing fruits they are. This is the time you want to get used to walking with all the extra weight. Because if you don't get used to walking now, as you gain more and more weight, by the time you reach third trimester, it becomes even more difficult and you start seeing pooling of water in your feet when you stand for longer duration of time. So the key is keep moving, do not sit even if you are continuing to work during your pregnancy. Take care of your movement. Do not sit for long durations in one position. Even if you have to sit, get up and walk, say every 1 hour or every 90 minutes, take a break and take a walk for about say at least 2 to 3 minutes every 1 hour or 1.5 hours. That is pretty much about the second trimester of pregnancy, and in my next video, I'll provide you more information about what to expect during third trimester, what to eat, what not to eat, what to do, what not to do, etc. So please keep watching Nutrifulyou for more interesting nutrition related content. If you like the content, please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please comment all the other nutrition, health and wellness related topics you want to know more about. For more such content, follow me on Facebook and Instagram as well.